What's up to all my Note 7 owners out there? Coming at you again with another video. In the last video, we discussed what Samsung might be doing as far as a forced update or breaking the phone through IMEI. And now that a week has gone by, we know exactly what they're doing and what they have already done. So they first struck in Europe back on November 1st. They pushed out an update that limits the battery to 60%. They struck second in Australia by completely cutting off all service to the phone through their service providers. So they got it pretty bad. I'd say as so far they probably got it the worst. I don't know of anyone else who got it worse than that. I'm sure maybe a couple other little countries possibly might have gotten that, but the majority of these Note 7s that were left were in US and Europe, third, Australia probably being third. So, and then as of today, in the US, they are pushing out updates. It'll be today, tomorrow, and into the next couple days, probably until they get to all of them, but they are pushing out updates to also limit the battery to 60% in the US. So, a lot of people have gotten this update. A lot of people were not prepared for this update. In my previous video, I discussed using the Easy Disabler app and going on Note 7 Rebels and checking out exactly what to do, what to uninstall to keep your phone safe. I'm with Sprint and I did not get this update. My phone is still rocking at 100%. Well, it says 98, but it was at 100%. If I got the update, it would be at 60. So my phone's still working good. Update didn't come through for me. And some things you could possibly do if you did get the update and you're still going to fight it and keep the phone is, I recommended in the last video, you can get a charging case for the phone. You could also pick up one of these babies. This is an external battery, and this thing is actually 26,000 milliamp battery, so that could probably charge my phone a couple times before I use all the juice in that. So just a way to get around it if you really don't want to turn your phone back in. But I'm sure because of this, a lot of phones were turned back in, and by the numbers they released yesterday, we know that a substantial amount were turned in. Last week I told you that there was about 1 million phones still in use, and according to an NBC news report they did today, we are down to about 300,000 that are still left being used. Now I'm sure a lot in Europe, when they did this update, they turned them back in. Now that they push this out in the US, it should also come down because not everyone was prepared like I was and like some other people were. So I know some of the extreme people right from the get-go, rooted the phone. I'm not a tech person. I don't claim to be one. I'm just making videos about a phone I like and I'm going to try to keep using for as long as I can. But, that's the extreme route. I may go down that route. I'll have to find someone that, is good with programming and can do that for me. But I may go down that route if Samsung really starts pushing back hard. Another news report that I read today is that Samsung is really going to push hard to try and get as many of these phones back as they can. And the only issue I have with that is the more phones they get back, the less inclined they're going to be to give out some type of incentive to the people who had the Note 7s. Now, they gave the $25 credit, $100 credit if you stuck with Samsung phones. To me, that wasn't good enough to downgrade my phone. I went through 2 recalls to get, with this phone. When I first got it, I loved it. Then they recalled it. I was hoping they were going to make it right the second time around. Apparently they didn't, so got the second one. and I just don't want to give it up. And I don't think there's any other phone on the market that quite compares. No other phone has the S Pen. I really love it. I got hooked on it when I got my Note 5. I really liked using the S Pen. There's so many things you can do with it. There's hour-long videos you can watch on YouTube breaking down hundreds and hundreds of things you can do with the S Pen. Things I didn't even think about. Some people do amazing artwork with them. So that's my little spiel on why I like the Note lineup, and no other phone has, an S Pen that's built into the phone. That's just a pretty cool feature. So, like I said, they're really going to push hard to try and get them all back. So it's, now that they push this update out, we'll see how many people survive, and we're just going to keep fighting it until the very end. I'm going to keep this phone no matter what. So if it gets to the point where they do brick it, which I don't think they're going to do, but if it gets to that point, I'll still keep it. I have a whole drawer full of old phones, so even if I have to go on a flight, I can take out my old track phone from Walmart. It's a Galaxy S3. I can take that out and go get a card and put minutes and data on it and take it on vacation. I took a vacation last year. I'm hoping I'm going to take one this year, so I will be flying at some point. I'll leave the Note 7 at home and take my S3 out on the trip, and use that. It's got a decent camera, so should be okay. Like I said, I really think Samsung should right the ship here and give us some sort of compensation, whether it's giving us a free S8 or Note 8 when it comes out, or giving us a substantial discount. I mean, that's what I think they have to do to make things right with us. I think anything less is somewhat of an insult. They're a very large company. They can certainly afford, to compensate the people who had, the Note 7s. So that's just what I feel that they should do. Whether they do or not, who knows? We will find out down the road. But just wanted to make a quick video discussing the update. From what I've seen on the Note 7 Rebels page, a lot of people were affected by it who weren't prepared like I was, and many other people were. So you can comment at the end of this video and let me know what you're going to do with your phone. Let me know if you were affected by the update. Let me know if you had problems with your Easy Disabler app, or everything went smooth, or you didn't get it yet, or you rooted your phone. Whatever you did, let me know what's going on. So just comment below. And if you're going to comment something nasty, I'm most likely going to delete it. My original video and the video I made last week, they both took off pretty good. The video I made last week is already at 6,200 or 300 views, so that took off way faster than I thought it was. And with that, all the trolls came out in full force, and people were saying a lot of nasty stuff about me, and saying I'm reckless, and I'm risking people's lives and all kinds of fucked up shit. Now, most of the comments, were people saying, "Oh, I'm keeping mine too," or "Oh, I wish I had the phone," or "Wish I didn't turn it in," or "I traded in for the S7. The S7's not that bad." That was the majority of the comments. The second or third most popular comment was people saying, "Oh, what's the point of keeping it? Samsung's gonna brick the device. Samsung's gonna just shut it down. You're not gonna be able to use it. After a couple months with no updates, the phone's gonna be a complete pile of shit." Nobody knows what Samsung's gonna do. Unless you work next to the right hand man, the CEO at Samsung, you have no fucking clue what they're gonna do. So just shut your mouth. Stop acting like you have all the answers, like you're the goddess of YouTube who knows everything, because you're not. You're just another asshole with an opinion. So I'm tired of hearing from people that Samsung's going to do this, Samsung's going to do that. They told me, people commented on my first video that I made almost a month ago, and said, "Oh, they're going to brick the phones in a week." Well, they didn't brick the phones anywhere in the world. They cut service in Australia, and they gave us a bullshit 60% update. So I personally don't see Samsung bricking the phones. It's going to piss people off. You're going to piss customers off. So I personally don't see them doing that. And there's also a discussion of if they legally can do that, especially if you purchase the phone outright or you own the phone. There's legalities that prevent you from destroying someone's personal property or disabling someone's personal property. I mean, this is a voluntary recall. It's not mandatory. Some people think it's mandatory. I see the message enough on my phone. I've gotten plenty of emails from Sprint and Samsung. It says voluntary. Voluntary means you are not legally mandated to turn it in. So I think we're a long way away from Sprint or Samsung or any other service provider actually bricking the phone. So for people who want to comment nasty shit, I'll either delete it or, just ignore it. So do what you want to do. I want to hear from all the people who still have them. Let me know what's going on. Let me know if you're going to keep it. Let me know if you can live with the 60% update. I myself am prepared for it if somehow Samsung figures out a way to force it past everything that I've disabled. So peace. See ya on the next video.